Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Child Self-Worth host Rima Alexandrovichuta and co-host Marina Nani. Today, I would like to share a story with you. This week, I had luxury of teaching a child. And through the process of academic learning, that little boy realized that he had a piece of very vital information for him to share, and for whatever reason he forgot. In his books, that was the hugest mistake. For the whole day he was distraught that he forgot to share with his mom that in the afternoon there is assembly and that he would like her to come and watch him. Despite the fact that little boy was distraught, he was open. He openly shared with me as his adult at that time what happened. He also was willing to consider options, what he could have done differently, what he could have done differently. And he was also open to suggestions from his friends, not only me as his teacher. That made me think long, and there were many realizations. The biggest question that I had, and I would like to share with you from observing that little boy, is how do you take mistakes? What is your relationship with mistakes that you make? Not only in your daily life, in your professional life, with your fellow adults, but most importantly, what is your relationship in making mistakes with your own children or the children that you care, would that be work or family life? How do you call them? Is that a mistake for you, or is it room for improvement? Do you give yourself time to think, and do you give yourself the luxury of admitting that mistake or room for improvement and share with your children? In this particular case, I have a wonderful example, and that is my brother. It is a lot of, I can see that every time he thinks that he made a mistake with his own child, it is a lot. It is a lot for him to admit, and at the same time, he's willing. I have seen him going to his daughter and saying, this is what I've done, and that is why I have done. I also strongly believe that it is very important for you and your child to have a discussion. What could either of you do differently to avoid situations in the future? Situations like that are when you're coming from the place of power, of strength. And at the same time, I believe that you might have observed or you know someone in completely different place. You might have seen someone, an adult, begging their child for forgiveness. It is natural to ask your child to forgive, and at the same time, are you ready to accept the fact that your child might need some time to process the information that you shared with him or her? Are you ready? Are you giving yourself time, and are you giving your child time to say, yes, I forgave you, or yes, I understand why you did. Yes, child might be saying the same to you too, because they need to know why, what caused your reaction. Did you burst into rant because you were frightened? You were ready to jump out of your skin because your little one or your older one put themselves into dangerous situation from your point of view? Or are you ready to say you are sad, to share your sadness with them because you come to understanding that sooner or later they will be less under your influence or any other feeling. So when you, going back to the place of lack of strength, lack of role, in these situations, you and I and any other carer, parent or person working with children, we give the power to the children. We give them the authority to rule us, to get into that childish state. I don't forgive you because you shouted at me, or because I'm not fine with that because you are you as an adult um, looked at me in an angry way. So do you want to be in the position of strength and sharing with your children anything that you are going through? Maybe not anything, most of things. And are you willing to discuss areas that could be, things could be done, could be said differently? So both of you and your child are in a coherent conversation and you know where you're going together. If if your teenage child runs away to a party, are you willing to say, you know what, I'm angry because I'm afraid to admit that you are already an adult, you are already on the path of adulthood, and I don't want you to go there. It's too early for me. As a parent, I love you and I don't want anything bad to happen. Are you more likely to say, go to your room and you're not to watch TV, you're not to go to parties anymore? So admitting is a big step forward for any of you. Admitting where you are and admitting where you could do differently. Remember also that sticking to your agreements is vital as well. Very possibly, it won't be neither your way or your child's way. Very likely you will have to meet somewhere in the middle, and at the same time, are you ready to meet halfway? So at the moment, there are a lot of questions that you, as a parent, carer, or a person working with children, very likely are asking yourself. And one more question for you: are you ready to give yourself time to evaluate possible scenarios? Are you ready to give enough time for yourself to prepare for conversations that are on the way with your younger ones? That's now over to you. That's it for now. Over to you, Marina.
Wow, Rima, this is a lot of questions for somebody to take. And I think we should take them one by one. So coming back to your first question, what was your first question?
The first question is, are you willing to share why you are responding to different scenarios one or another way? Are you willing to say to your child, I shouted at you because I got scared for you, for example? Or are you ready to say, I'm crying because I don't want to admit that you're growing up so fast? So are you, once again, are you ready to share your responses, reactions to different situations with your children?
Yes, so I I have few stories of my own, and I'm sure our listeners, they could go back into moment when they reacted instead of instead of thinking. And sometimes children grow so fast. You look at their size, shoe size, and one day it's 5, and then it's 7, and then it's 9, and you're thinking, what is happening? You can't keep pace with how fast they grow. And somehow is another feeling that you are left behind. They are not um, asking you for permission anymore. They have courage, and they go out there. They want to have their own experiences, good or bad, or beautiful or ugly, is not even relevant. But it is your spiritual awareness as a parent that could really help um, the nightmare you are living as a parent be turned into a great experience. In my own experience, when my children started going out, and I was terrified, I couldn't sleep till I will hear the door opening again. So I had to wait till I hear that sound, that when you put the keys in a door, and go bed, because I didn't want them to see that I was waiting for them. And it is an emotional roller coaster, but you have to take an emotional risk and trust them, because I think each emotion is part of your soul and become part of the fabric of your soul. It's like the data of your soul, if you want. And how do you measure courage as a parent? Well, I think the greatest courage you could take or experience as a parent is to trust your child. Um, it is it is the moment when they look they grow taller than you. You shrink, you become smaller and smaller, and they become the parents. And the role are reversed at some point, in a beautiful way. And they're kinder than you, and they look on you thinking, this is everything to me, because you as a parent, you are everything to your child, you know it or not. And coming back to the mistakes, because there are no such things like mistakes, they are just mistakes, is always a chance to learn more about who your child is becoming. And if you don't like it, tough. The child is going to follow their own path. And all we can do is to love them more, to show them, to display your feelings, even it's uncomfortable, because perhaps when we were children, there were different times. Parents weren't that much involved in your upbringing. You are going to school, doing your homework, you're pretty busy. You had no access to zillions of information on internet, and you weren't a stamp on that laptop or phone screen. So you're going out, having great experience, outdoor experiences,
Mm.
going to understand the nature, and having a pet, and I don't know, even taking care of the farm for the people who lived in a farm and had
Mm.
that experience of connecting with nature more. But remember, we live times when you carry everything in your phone. You don't need anything else. If you want, a map is there. If you want money is there. If you want a friend is there. If you want, pictures are there. Live streams are all over the place. And it is almost overwhelming as a parent to control your thoughts and your reactions when you are not happy with your child's performances. And what I'm saying is that shame is a feeling that I treasure, and to me is the spiritual awakeness, and is a place as a parent, perhaps parents planet is the most amazing planet, because there are so many failures which you have to um, take them on and turn them into a success, but takes more than one time when you felt you failed to grow into the parent you need to be to help your child follow their own path, because it's all about helping and loving your child to understand who they are. To me, as a parent, it's never been about myself. I never raised my children thinking that they are going to be there to bring me a glass of water when I'm old and powerless. I never thought on those terms. I always thought I have to help them grow their own wings. That's my job. That's my divine job. And whatever they decide is for them to take and go for it. And all they have to know is that I love them more than anything, and I will do, if necessary, I will live longer to witness their dream coming true. So you see, there are questions along the way. Some questions you can't answer, then you have to ask yourself better questions, the type of questions that make you understand that you have in front of you another human being. Yes, it is coming from your lifeline is coming from your body. You gave them birth, but that was where everything stopped. From there on, your divine duty is to love them.
That's very true, Marina. And I do thank you very much for bringing up the word trust. And trust between you and your children is built through conversation. Yes, at times it might come to you as a great challenge, especially at the very beginning, and at the same time, it gets easier. I would also like to remind you that every situation you are in, you're in every situation and any situation, you are acting from the place of love. You are acting to the best knowledge, and you, whatever the decision you are making, this is the best for that situation. Once the moment is gone, once the decision or is made, or a conversation is had, then you have different experience, and you are looking at it from different point of view. So remember that you are the best in any situation, and also remind yourselves that there's always room for improvement. So that's all for now. Until next time, have a blessed day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.